Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it then. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes-Benz. Whoa, yeah, please don't take offense.
Welcome back. This is season 1, episode 18 of Cockriser, the show. I'm Jamie Jones.
I'm Monique Jones.
And we are having a special episode today because we have guests. We have returning guests. Our first returning guest. That probably means she was our first guest. Our first returning guest.
Our only guest.
Yeah, our only guest we've had, Troy Jones. And we also have another special guest. Mrs. Tiffany Garland.
Yay. Hey there.
Thank you very much. So, as you don't know, what we usually do here, we just bring things that we've been thinking about over the last week, and we talk about them. We didn't have a podcast. Did we have we had a podcast last week. Now I'm getting my weeks mixed up because we were gone, and it took me a long time to get back on track. So we are 17 and 18 to go, and they say that to be most successful podcasts get to their 21st podcast before they become successful. So you got to get to 21. They say most podcasts stop before they get to 21. That's what we win our season. Our seasons will be 21 podcasts long. So when we get to 21, we'll switch and go to season 2. And as we usually do, we just start off talking about stuff. So I'm going to give it to the first time guest here today. What were you thinking about? What were you thinking about last week?
Well, it was a holiday, so I was thinking about how I can maximize enjoyment and minimize the impact of the enjoyment. So, that was not that easy. There was lots of trouble to get into around the food and the liquor. So, yeah, I went into the week trying to be prepared for it. I did okay.
And then there's been stories out, especially the last couple of days, around there is more disenfranchisement of family members. Like they just are splitting. They're not getting together anymore. They're just walking away from each other. And they're trying to figure out why and then what's going to bring families back together. But it sounds like that wasn't the problem. You were with your family.
No. Not this year at least, but you never know. So.
Well, you know what the whole thing is, Jamie, is let them. So people are saying, you know what, let them be who they would need to be. And they're just like, I don't want to be around those people, even though they should still just be around them and let them be and accept them for who they are. But people, unfortunately, just don't want to do that because they're trying to keep their own peace. So they prefer to just stay away. And that's fine. I think it's fine when people stay away if they don't want to be bothered. And you just have to say, as long as you do your part in inviting them and they don't show, then let them be, right?
Yeah, let them be. So.
I thought that was a fascinating statistic that nearly a third of people are actively not in touch with their family members. That's wild to me.
Period, right? That's period, right?
Period.
Yeah.
That's period, right?
Actively not communicating, like totally, like I'm not related to that person. Which
it's wild. Yeah.
Is there any insight on whether you spent a lot of time with those people growing up, went through good times and bad times? It seems like bonds aren't that easily broken, but maybe, my perception of family and unconditional love is different than a lot of others. But I do wonder if you didn't spend time, if you didn't, go through some things, then it's easy to just say, I cut that person out of my life.
Yeah. I definitely feel like a lot of that was trauma response for people not participating, which understandable, because I went down the TikTok as I do TikTok hole yesterday and was fascinated by Aoki and Ming Lee Simmons, who are still estranged from their father. And Aoki, who's, I guess, determined to be a model like her mother, who is looking more and more like her mother, actually, was dating that older gentleman that was 65, and her father is like 64 or 65, something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's a definite response to being
Is there something wrong with that? Is there something wrong with that?
What?
How old is she, Troy? How old is she?
It's
On
just-
Jamie, 21.
Tiffany, let Jamie answer 18 as long as they're legal. It's okay.
as long
Okay.
as they're legal,
So,
it's okay.
all right.
21.
Wait a minute.
And I
It's
mean,
okay. Define okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's legal.
and there's
Listen.
part of me understands that, particularly in her realm of reality, that, being a wealthy person who went to Harvard, you probably come across people like that. You probably, it's probably not that unusual. It's just the public backlash broke them up, which is interesting.
Mm.
Feel
Yeah.
that confident about it. Um, Definitely seems like it was kind of like a sugar daddy arrangement too, because allegedly Russell is holding money back as well. So, and then, there was a feud between he and Kimura about money and businesses and stuff like that. But anyway, it was just fascinating to me, how that's sort of playing out. And you could certainly understand why, if she were to be estranged from this person, the reason why, because he's been pretty hostile with them over social media,
He
um,
has.
a
Yeah.
few
Oh,
years.
wow.
I
Even
Yeah.
mean,
over the social media.
Carolyn Levitt is like what, 28? And her
Mhm.
husband's like 60. Carolyn Levitt,
Go
the White
ahead.
House press secretary.
Is her
The White House
husband
press.
60?
Yeah, he's 60.
In his 50s, these
I
late
think he's
50s.
60.
Yeah.
I think he's 32 years older than her. Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This is a conversation that Jamie and I have very often. And it's I don't think that an age gap once you're older is that important to me. But when you're young and you're so much older, I feel like, what do you have in common? How can you relate to each other? And I mean, unless you're trying to look for a dad, I just don't see why a young woman would want to date an older man. I personally, my daughter dated an older guy, and I was just like, he is so taking advantage of you. He knows how to manipulate you, and that's why he's dating you, because he sees your vulnerability. And
Yeah.
you know what I say to her? He wouldn't have dated me. Because he wanted to be,
Yeah.
and she has a very strong personality, but he would not have gotten away with the things that he got away with because she was younger.
Yeah.
And of
Jamie
course,
doesn't look at
you
it
don't
like
have a strong
that.
personality. No, I don't look at it like that. I've dated younger. I don't know if I've dated that younger. I was married once before. She was 17 years younger. Of course, not married now, but the age, it had something to do with it, but not everything to do with it. Yeah, but I mean, I joke. I probably, if I had a daughter that was 24 years old, I wouldn't want her dating a 60-year-old. But if
Look
she
at
was
you.
in love, she was in love. I'd be like, if you got to do the Bill Belichick thing, go ahead. You got to do what you got to
You
do.
know.
Let them be. Let them be. Let them.
Listen, that's a hard
Let them.
let them,
Let
because
them.
I
So
do
hard
have
let them.
children that age, and I cannot imagine them walking up in here with
Let
a
them.
man their father's age. I
No.
think we would all be like stunned, confused. We wouldn't even we would not be able to behave, and it would. The hurtful thing is we would want our people, because we would want our family around. We
Yes.
wouldn't want to do anything that allowed that person to create a wedge and make it so that they don't come around because we aren't treating their 40-year gap mate
Yes.
appropriately.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I start going is, wait a minute, I don't want to judge anyone else's decision. And I do kind of,
But
support
y'all would have a
everybody.
lot in common.
So I don't want to have a lot in common with my daughter's mate.
No.
I'd rather like her mate's parents.
But
I
it's
always
always
say
like
these
that,
are the
though.
right parents
Exactly.
for me.
But it's
Yeah.
always like the family's all up in them. It's like Bill Belichick's daughter-in-law, not even his daughter, but his daughter-in-law married to his son, who he coaches with, is like up in a roar about your girl. Like she's like talking all kind of smack about your girl. And I'm like, yeah, obviously there's some issues there with Miss Hudson.
Since she's been with Mr. Belichick, so
Well, that's what the press says.
What did you say,
Press
Troy? I
says.
didn't hear you. What did you say, Troy?
She has allegedly increased her wealth by different holdings and manipulation of financial matters, during this time frame. So, I mean,
Okay.
one would be taken to giving her a side eye, like, okay, Miss Thing, what are you doing?
Bill can
Yeah.
break her off a couple meal and not even know it's missing. So I'm sure, I'm sure he's helping her.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Is he helping her?
He's helping her.
And she's helping him
However,
make him feel young again.
they're not married. Supposedly there's an engagement, but I don't know. But if you do get in that situation, there are 10 questions that women who got divorced say you should ask before you get married, or maybe they wouldn't have got divorced. Do you want to know what those 10 questions are?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So I've never been, so I'd be,
Well, now, in case you get ready to get married, you know these 10 questions you should have asked before you got married. So you're good. You're in a good place. Are you more of a planner or go with the flow type?
are you kidding me?
That's
What does that have to do with it?
Hey, I'm just the messenger.
Okay.
How would you keep the love growing as time passes?
Who wrote these questions?
Hey. This is coming from a reputable magazine, Stylist in the relationship section. Okay. Have you ever broken someone's heart?
What? Many times.
Yes. Question number 4. Are you in therapy?
These are the questions for a regular mate.
These are deal breakers right here. Can you cook?
Wow.
Can you cook? These are you asking a man these questions. And how do you view women?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, maybe. All right. Do you believe?
Well, how do you get along with your mom?
Absolutely.
Wait.
That's a good one.
Wait,
I think that's a great.
No. All right, maybe that might be. I'm only through 5. That might be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how do you view women? The next one is, do you believe in a higher power? That's question number 6. Do you believe in a higher power? Okay. That was question number 7, excuse me. Question number 8 is, does the other person in your marriage know that you're divorced, or is it just a mental divorce? Yeah, you probably check that out before you go get your license. You need to know that.
Agree.
That's a good question to ask. Well, maybe not in that matter, but it's a good question to ask.
Was that all of them?
No, got 2 more.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is an extensive list. This is the list. This is the penultimate list to ask your man before you get married. Question number 9. If you have children, how often do you see them? I would hope you would know before you got married if the person had children.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And last but not least, have your exes had good relationships with your mom?
Like that one too.
Okay. I think that's one of the most important ones, along with
You know what? I'm going to beg to differ. And the reason why I say that to you is because I think the most important question is, how do you view women? Because if you view your mother, right, as this pedestal and think that, or maybe she demonstrated things that makes you look at women, right? Okay, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Here I am, this mother, right? And my sons have seen me behave in a certain way, but I'm their mom, right? So they still love me. But then they have this image of women because of what I demonstrated. So now they judge women based on how their mother acted. Does that make any sense to you guys? Like, so if I was, okay, I'm going to just say if I was a prostitute and my sons knew I were a prostitute, they're most likely going to view women as prostitutes, like are being that type of person.
Well, there's levels to that. Were you a escort? Were you a prostitute, or were you just a hoe?
I'm using it as an example. What I'm saying to you is that I truly think that as a mom, I think that men will view their moms different than what they would view women in general. No?
Yeah, but you're tapping into this thing that allows people to accept generational trauma and blame it on their parents, as opposed to saying, I don't accept that as as behavior or lifestyle or a cycle I want to continue. They acknowledge it, they heal from it, they move on. Or if they're not mentally healthy, they can't. You're right. They choose someone just like their mother because that's how they think their mother's supposed to behave. But the more extreme version of that is when people allow themselves to just never quite get right, if you will. Like they're always
stuff.
miserable, depressed, can't keep a
Mhm.
job, can't do this, and they're blaming it on their parents. It's not your parents. Your parents are
Yes,
gone on. You are an adult, So I don't know, but
absolutely.
that's part of that same thinking to me. So I somehow want to blame the parents, and somehow I'm like, no, that's not my fault. You need to get in
No,
therapy and
it's
heal
really not.
yourself. So
It's really not, but I do believe that there are people that have not get out of that mental space of not saying, okay, this person is not my mother, right? So I have to give this woman the same opportunity as I would as if it were my mother, to respect and treat her a certain way, not thinking that she did the things that my mother did. It's just do no, or I think that because
maybe,
sometimes, like you said, people will
I'm not.
use it as an
I can see
excuse.
that. Yeah, no,
People
I
will
can see
use it
that.
as
I can see.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I don't know if it's an excuse. It's an it's an excuse if you have other
it is.
examples, just like anything else, right? Just because you have one experience with a certain thing doesn't mean that that has to be what the experience is. So even if you had a poor relationship with your mother or poor relationship with your father, but you have other male figures, other female figures that are strong in your life, that should, I say should suffice. Uh, that's what I think. But then again, because who knows, right? I mean, I'm assuming Donald Trump had a strong father figure. How good it was is a whole different story. The mom was supposedly great. And look how he turned out. And then look how he treats women
Well,
and all that other stuff. So
apparently
Monique
his
hates when I put that. We're about to get to our Donald Trump section. Not yet, because I have to, because
oh,
I still say
geez.
he is the greatest social content creator
If you
in
say
the
that
world right
one
now.
more time on this
and
podcast, I'm
and
not
I don't say it as
participating.
a compliment. It's just it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
like he's keeping so many people employed, especially comedians and journalists. It's incredible. But we're not there yet. We're not at that part. What
But
I want to know,
I do
what
want
I
to say one more thing about this list. I
what's that?
do agree with Monique. The question about how you treat your mother is the most important one because that's a clear signal of
Well,
how
that
you're
wasn't even
going to
on
be
there.
treated.
That
You
Oh, I
know
wasn't
thought it
what
on
was how
there.
do
though?
you
See,
treat your
that
mother?
that
You know
wasn't
what?
no was
Yeah.
how did your exes treat your
Ah,
mom?
no, I like
Yeah.
observe how he treats his mother. It's a signal
No.
of his
indeed.
No.
care, love, compassion,
Well, I'm
respect
Well,
gonna
for
tell
you.
you,
Yeah, that's all I.
I'm gonna tell you, I have witnessed somebody treat their mother like the goddess and gold s- of all. Like I mean, I was just like, I've never ever seen somebody bow down to somebody, and no matter what, this woman had every say to whatever she said was gold. Okay. So I'm going to tell you that this man worshiped this woman, and what's the word I'm looking for? It was so honoring as a mom to know that this person was like, "Wow, this woman could do no wrong." I mean,
Mhm.
no wrong. When I tell you the way that he treated her, I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? Because I saw how my brother treated my mother, and it was not the same. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. But I just want to say, I truly don't believe that it goes hand in hand. It has
but
a
you saw
lot to
both
do
ends.
with it.
You saw far to the left and far to the right. You didn't
Well,
see,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't want to
yeah.
say
did.
in the
And
middle, but you
now,
didn't see
And I would
reasonable.
say that's problematic
Yeah,
behavior.
because being the only man on the
I
podcast
would
today, it's
I
like
would
it
flip
there's a
flop and
spectrum.
I think he
Yeah,
would
there's
flip flop and try to be in control of you because the he was
Mm.
right.
so controlled by the
and
mother.
and again,
And
go ahead.
no, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No. I'm just
This is
saying, and
you.
it
This is
wasn't
your
like
thing.
it. It wasn't the extreme. Like when I say it was extreme, but it wasn't. But it was just like, oh, okay, like this is different. Like I would never think that, you would speak not ever cursing in front of your mother, never having an alcohol beverage in front of your mother, but you could curse at me or speak disrespectful to me. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things that I'm just like, you know, if you're gonna be a man that respects a woman and your mother, I would just assume that you're going to do the same to other women as well.
No, but that's different because your mother and a woman are two different things, and then you have an issue with are they putting that mother figure on this unreachable pedestal, but it's more of obedience. And then the relationship goes through arcs, right? as you get older, because as your mother realizes you become an equal because you're acting mature enough to be an equal, then the relationship changes and it becomes more of a friendship. But it's still the admiration and respect that you have for your mother, but it's more of a friendship because then it's a shared conversation back and forth with experiences, and you realize that your mother is living vicariously through you to a certain extent. So you realize the importance of that and how she has the only love that a parent can have for the only. And I see, my personal belief is the only what's it called?
Unconditional.
Unconditional love out there is a parent has for his child or her child.
Absolutely.
I can't, as much as I love Monique, it's not unconditional love. It doesn't. It can't even.
I agree.
It can't even
I
approach
agree
that.
with you 100%.
It can't.
There's no
the
way that
love
I
my
can have
parents
the
have for
same
me,
love
there
for
is
you
no.
that I have
It
for my
can't.
children.
You
There's no
can't,
way.
because I didn't come from you. You didn't come from me. We
Absolutely.
can get as close as we can possibly get to it, but there is nothing
Yeah,
to
I
compare to
agree.
that. So once you understand that, that's different. So that's why I think that's why it's different too. But that's why I think men who respect and treat women well also understand that relationship arc that they have with their mother, just like they understand the relationship arc that they have with their father and becoming a man too, and how that works. So it's not the I obey and nobody can be my mother. You respect her, you love her, you want to do everything you can for her, but you should be able to, as you become an adult, have conversations and understand when, they're being a human being. The most touching moment for me and with my parents was when I realized that, oh, they're regular people. Like they can make they can make mistakes. They can misunderstand. They can apologize. They can admit those things because they didn't, you don't have to when you're a parent because you're trying to teach your kids and make sure they're doing the right things. But then when you realize that, oh, I get it. And their life wasn't as easy as I thought it was. They had to make some tough decisions. And we're talking about parents that were in the civil rights movement and all that stuff. It's it's different. That I don't think that relationship may have been healthy that you saw either on both ends.
Yeah,
Right.
I
But then
agree
you
with that.
also say to yourself, okay, your parents love you because they're your children, because you're their children. You love Troy because it's your sister. Troy loves you because you're her brother. Your wife and your husband choose each other to love each other, not because it's your family or you have a choice. This is a choice. I mean, so with family, yes, you have a choice, but it's like, here I am choosing to love you, but your mom and dad are gonna love you because you're you're their child, but for your
Unconditionally,
sister.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those things. Go ahead, what? What, Troy? You're
Part of
frozen.
the population would disagree with
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that. I was like, apparently we have a different set of values around this. Some
You
people
know,
are
but
choosing not.
yeah, I mean, listen.
So I think about that and I say, why do people hate on Meghan Markle so much? I'm trying to understand that. That was one of the
I
things
don't
I was thinking
understand
about
it
this
at
week. I
all.
really don't
Like, I love her.
understand.
you.
I
Hate
love
Why
her.
do people,
You
I'm not going to go as far as say I love her,
I have
but I'm
no
like, why
problems.
are so many people like, if she is just being herself, if she's being her
Yeah.
best Martha Stewart, why are people so offended?
Is it
Haters,
jealous?
haters,
It's
She
haters.
has
it all comes
sweetest
from
dress,
jealousy.
golden ring,
It is.
what people don't want her to have, and that's Prince Harry and a link to the royal family.
Well, that's
That's
over with now. That's there. I mean, that's been made in blood now because they got kids. So
That's right.
they're
That's
good.
right.
And
And she's not the first.
I have no problem. I mean, I have literally, like, you talk about let them. I'm like, why are y'all worried about them?
Yeah.
They just doing their thing.
I
Yeah.
do not get it. I don't know why they're hating on that lady. I think I'm enjoying watching it unfold, but I
she's
don't understand why
beautiful.
people hate on her so
She's
much.
cultured. She's educated.
Yeah,
She,
I mean,
she's
I can't watch her stuff because
I
that's just
can't
not my
either.
thing. But
she's
I can't either,
I
but
have no
I
problem
have
with
her
it. I have no
jams. I
problem with Harry.
her
Harry,
jams for
she seems
orange
to be the calm
marmalade.
one.
I
yeah.
got it, and it's delightful. So I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
What did you get, Troy? Say it again.
The raspberry and the orange marmalade jams that she
That
put
she
out.
made?
Yes, put out. They're very good. They're not
Okay.
sweet, they're very good. Yeah, she's a lightning rod. People just love to hate her.
I don't so just like they love to hate Harry's mom. So maybe it's the same, it's the new
Whoa.
Diana. Mhm.
Now I'm not gonna
Is it
compare it.
not? It's the
I'm not gonna
same.
compare her to Diana because I experienced that as a younger person. I didn't get the whole Diana thing. My Troy and my mother were like, you would have thought they were the queen and princess of the USA. I was like, what is the big deal? But Diana, no, Diana got hate because she was not of the same station in the UK, but everybody outside the UK loved them some Diana.
She was aristocracy. She wasn't royalty before, but she was aristocracy. She was
Well, she wasn't the same, as they like to say, she was not the same station
in the
as it
sort
was
of
over there.
royalty people. She was a lady. She wasn't.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was. But I feel like the venom toward her, at least on our side of the pond, is similar to the venom toward Meghan.
Yep. Very much
Yeah.
so.
Megan gets it from everywhere, and I just don't get it. I mean, besides the fact that she's black, I just don't
I was
get
about to
it.
say, yes, you do. You get it. You know
But I know
exactly.
they came for her in the castle. They came for her.
They
Yeah.
didn't want her there.
But I think they found out.
she
They
grasped.
fund around and found out, Monique, when they came for her in the
Yes,
castle,
Paul.
as we said in the podcast. Fun around and find out. All right. She said, all right.
I think the wedding, because it's funny because I was looking at clips of the wedding again, and I was like, there was a black choir
Yes.
Westminster Abbey. I was like, yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
she was singing too.
They were.
It was great. I was
Good for Harry for getting her out of there too.
Yeah.
Good for him for not making.
Megan
Yeah,
said,
making
if
her
you
stay
ever
and suffer
question,
through that. Right.
if you ever question what my roots are,
Yeah.
have no more questions.
Yeah. Beautiful mama sitting there dressed to the nines in a choir. I was like, okay.
Yes. Yes.
So now we get to the point in the program that I always get to because it's just so interesting. And it's if I could go through a week and not bring up something that is just like, come on, yo, we got to deal with this. Like the piggy comment. And then he got mad because somebody was questioning him about I think that the guardsman that got shot, which was terrible, by the way. But come on, DT, you're losing it. You've been losing it. But you called a woman a piggy. You keep on calling women names. And my thing is, people that voted for him right now. I mean, are you getting what you want?
Well, Jamie, I've seen people on social media, and they have these clips of people interviewing MAGA people, and they're creating these wild scenarios. Like the son of these two parents he was talking to that are MAGA. He said, "What if Trump said to come kill everybody in Los Angeles, and I'm standing in line to go to the movie theaters, and I get shot up? Like, how would you feel about that?" And they would be that would be correct to do.
No way.
Be upset or die. Which one?
Well, no,
You heard her.
to do it
Yeah, to
because
obey what he said.
this was their answer. The president obviously knew something more about it than they did, so they would be fine with it, whatever his decision was to do something like that.
Just like he knew about
I-
the people on those vessels that he was saying that was transporting the drugs, but yet he's going to pardon. Yeah, but this is the crazy part. But then he's going to pardon the president of Honduras. That hold up.
Well, you know,
He
like I
has
follow the dollar.
distributed over 500 billion pounds of cocaine, but yet he's going to pardon him. But he's blowing up boats leaving Venezuela.
All you got to do is follow the dollar with Trump.
Yeah.
All you got to do is follow Donald Trump. He loves coastal property. That's why the Gaza, they got some things going on with the Saudis. They're trying to clear up that Gaza. Also, what I will say, that at least he's an equal opportunity offender of people of color, that is, because he's shooting up the Venezuelans. And then a few days ago, this kind of went under the wire. A few days ago, this went under. There's so much stuff that goes on. It's like House of Cards.
You can't
And it's
keep
all
track.
distraction. What he's doing to the Haitians and what he did this past week, it flew on the round. People think that he says the Haitians no longer meet the requirements for TPS. So they got to leave, all of them, by February 3rd, that they have to leave because they no longer have temporary protected status.
Wow.
That's a lot because they were over here because of what was going on in Haiti. And that is a lot. And most of them came over because of the earthquakes and stuff that were going on there early in like 2010, and because of the economic ruins. And he's saying if they have TPS, they don't have it anymore and have to leave by 11:59 p.m. on February 3rd, or they will be arrested and deported. And of course, you know who's saying it the loudest is Kristi Noem, who looks crazy every time she comes up there. It's Kristi Noem is saying it, and that's about. I think it's like the numbers are incredible though. They're like in the millions of people here from Haiti that will have to go back if nothing changes. So there's that. There's what he's doing, of course, with immigration. And by the way, one of Christine Levitt's, one of her friends, I think her brother's baby's mama got caught up and got arrested.
Yes.
So
she's in ICE custody right now.
Yeah, it's coming up. And I think it's a she. It's a she that's in ICE custody right now. So they're coming. It's like you put these wide nets out. They're coming for everybody you know. You forgot the people that you know. So Margot Lago, you might not be able to do maintenance down there anymore the way you're going. Because, it's the mother of Kathleen Levitt's nephew arrested by ICE because she was going to pick up her son or something.
He also reclassified nursing as not being a profession, like social workers and
and there were at least
now,
8 or 9 professions that he said.
Now, Troy, after that announcement came out, the government came out with a message and said that's not the case. They said, we're not saying they're not a profession. What we were saying, based on the rules of the lending that we have in the programs, that we're not considering them to be at the professional limit that they could borrow. However, 99% of those never even reach that limit, so it's not going to impact.
I have nothing to say on that one.
Now, the thing is,
that's
though,
another distraction ploy. Why do we even need to do that? Why is that a necessary
I agree.
use of your brain, stroke of the pen? Come on. Like,
want women to go back into the house. That's why.
The TPS thing, Jamie, tell me more. What was the original language and why this arbitrary February 3rd date? Did it have a time limit on the TPS status? I'm just trying to make it make sense. Or is it literally arbitrary? We're just trying to get as many people of color out of here that's bothering somebody from MAGA as possible.
That's what it's starting. They're trying to decolor the United States because you figure if you get them out, you gotta stop having babies. Well, I'm thinking that's my thought. You get them out, you gotta stop having babies with them, and then we'll still be white. And then, of course, he made a derogatory. I mean, he went after South Africa this week on his social media platform, saying that they didn't belong in G20 because they're unlawfully killing white nationalists in South Africa. And that's why the Africans were able to come over here and that they don't belong in the G20. But going back to the TPS, it was brought upon because of the string of natural and political disasters that happened, especially what happened in 2010 with the catastrophic earthquake and the economy in ruins. So, but they're saying barring potential legal delays from lawsuits, Haitians will now be facing a return back to the country. So basically he's saying, time's up. Y'all have 15 years here. And we are saying no. And despite the violence that's still engulfing Haiti, what Kristi Noem has said, her statement was that they have determined that there are no extraordinary or temporary conditions in Haiti that prevent Haitian nationals or aliens having no nationality who last habitually resided in Haiti from returning in safety. And they said the existing conditions that were extraordinary and temporary at the time that prevented them from going back don't exist
anymore.
But they still are required to be able to be in the TPS program, but they're not considering that to be the case. So they can no longer remain temporarily. So they thought, the messed up thing is they were here thinking that they didn't have to get citizenship if they didn't want to because they had temporary protected status. And then they were here. They probably were like, oh, that's good. We'll be fine. But we're not going back because it's still crazy there. And it is. Now they have to go back.
Could be also the beginning of them starting to round up random Black people because they look like they're Haitian.
or any other. I mean, we all look like something. So can you imagine having to show your papers everywhere you go? We are literally turning into some historic, I don't know, uh, period, time, place that we've only read about or seen movies about. This is absolutely bizarre.
That's
Now, of
exactly
course,
what I thought of
advocates.
when I was in the cab in Amsterdam. I'm, like, thinking Anne Frank. We
That's what it feels like. You got to show your papers.
Right, we read that story thinking, "How did people live through that and let this happen to other people?" And here we are, I'm in Chicago, probably 2
Mhm.
miles away from what's happening right now. So it's
Yeah.
like, b so
Now it's
bizarre.
not just the Haitians. Now let's be fair. He's an equal opportunity offender. He's not just the Haitians because that same TPS protection ended for Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Hondurans, Syrians, Nepalians, if that's what we call them, Cameroons, Afghanistans, Burmans, Somalians, and Myanmar. All Myanmarians. They all. So it's been millions. And so the advocates are like, look, if Haiti doesn't warrant TPS, which country does? So and of course they came out with the news the day before Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's not good, especially since they just had an earthquake. And it's like they're like nothing's changed in Haiti. So where is this coming from? But according to the government, they did a thorough census of the Haiti population and the situation down there and deemed that this was necessary. They trying to make sure all these people, and it didn't help that was it somebody from Afghanistan that shot the National Guard in
Allegedly.
DC?
Yeah. Mhm.
And unfortunately they're from West Virginia. So it was a young lady, which is horrible, but that didn't add any that didn't help the cause for people because and look that could have been anybody. I mean, we're not getting rid of white people because they shot Charlie Kirk
Right.
or they shot at the president.
Right.
So that's
See,
the thing. That's the disappointing thing.
he's
They
not
probably
trying
run
to
it
get the white people out.
Yeah.
He's only trying to get the people of color out.
No.
But if it's not an attack on people of color. Now, I will say this, and I've said this all the time. I am a strong believer of going through the proper documentation process to be legal in this country. There is a process. If you did not take the opportunity to go through the process, foolish on you because then you're going to get deported. And there's a legal way to go about it. It was interesting. We were watching the show. We talk about Knife's Edge, it's about Michelin-starred restaurants. There's this chef in Mexico City that said he was in America illegally. He was trying to chase the American dream, but then he came back because he wanted to have he wanted to build a Michelin star legacy in Mexico City, which he did with another one of his restaurants, but not the main restaurant. Now I took that as a low key, like he got deported, but he didn't say he got deported, but it happens, right? You come here but he was talking about it. One of the reasons why he came back, he said he was like hiding out, couldn't go anywhere, could only go
Yeah.
to work and come home because he was afraid of getting deported. So you don't have to live under those conditions. And it would be the same conditions that we would live under if we went to another country.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's no different than what
Right.
you
No,
know
you're right.
our son is dealing with in Greece. You're like, you got a visa, you're there. You can't be there past that visa.
No, that's
And if you
right.
want to
Yeah.
be a citizen, go through the proper channels. But after that visa's over, you need to get up and leave Greece, or we'll make you leave, and it's not gonna be pleasant. So I'm a firm believer in that, but I'm also a believer that we let people in when they're in failed situations or they're in trouble because this country was built on immigrants,
Absolutely.
and they're not illegal aliens, by the way. Those are
Where
things
did
from
that
outer.
term come
Well,
from? That is such
those are things from outer space. Those are things that old people say. Like my father will still say people are Oriental, and I go, no, that's a rug.
that's
My mom
exactly
used to
right.
say
He's
That's
88. He
exactly
could say
right.
that, but it's like, no, Dad, that's a rug. Oh, I know, but yes, then
The
say it.
So
vibes
you
on
know
your
what?
face.
Let me get your guys' opinion. Do you think that because somebody is 80 in their 80s, they have the right to say pretty much whatever they want? Like, do you guys give a pass for that?
Yes.
I
As
have
long as it's
given
not
many
mean,
passes for that.
as
You
Many.
long as
said
it's
My
not
what?
dad
mean
I didn't hear
spirited.
you.
My
I
I
didn't
said
hear.
my dad has said he rest his soul has said so many things we would normally cancel folks over, and we've tried to tell him he's one of the ones with Oriental, and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that just trip us out. But anything about sexuality, oh my
Uh,
goodness, he
uh,
just.
that's my
But
mom.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
gave
my
him a
mom.
pass. We gave him a
Yeah.
pass. And
And
I do old people say what they want to say all the
so
time. And
the reason why I'm asking you guys this is because my older sister is really struggling with things that my mom says. And I'm like, she's 80 something years old. Like, first of all, and she's always been like this. Well, you guys can stand for her ignorance and that I'm not standing for it. I'm like, well, I hope that your children give you more grace when you're 80 something years old. And it's just like, I personally can't understand it because I'm like, look, your mom has done the best that she knows how, just like you're doing the best that you know how with your children. And to say that you're not going to talk to your mom because of a comment that she's made, maybe it wasn't a nice comment, and it's not even something that she said a comment about my sister's daughter that my sister's daughter didn't even hear. It was between my mom and my sister, but my sister got so upset and she's like, I'm not dealing with mom anymore. And I'm like, how do you just like cross your mom off just because of things that she says? I don't know, at 80 something years old. I don't know. Like, that's your mom. She has sacrificed her whole life to give you anything that she could have possibly given you. And you just now at 50 something years old decide, you know what, I'm not going to deal with my mother anymore because of
It
something
might
that she said.
it might go to a deeper issue than
Yes, it is, Troy. Of course it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's really deep. It's really deep, but
Yeah.
it's just frustrating because I'm like, you know what? This is what I truly believe. This is my first time being a mom. This is her first time being a mom. It's your first time. You know, it doesn't come with a book. It doesn't come with, yes, you can
yeah.
try to grow and try to be a better parent, just like I hope that my children try to be better children to me or better adults to me as they get older. But, you know, I think like with every relationship, relationships go hand in hand, right? You give a little bit, I give a little bit, we both give. But if you keep giving and giving and giving and you don't receive anything in return, is it a relationship? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So that was just something that I had to get off my
And
chest.
and going back on the last point about this whole immigration thing, it's not just that people are will be deported; it's people not coming. And one of the issues with that is the intellectual drain that it'll have on the United States, and we depend on a lot of these visas and immigrants coming over or foreigners coming over, going to school here, paying money here. The drain that we'll have, let alone on the industry that Tiffany, me and you are in, was going to be significant because
Mhm.
it's China is building up biotech and biopharma centers like no other. India is closely behind.
India,
India
exactly.
is very closely behind. If they don't come over here and go to school and they stay over there, then and biotech and pharmaceuticals are seventh largest industry of commerce in the United States. And you're risking a lot of that. And that's just one industry. And like I always said, it's something like I stole this from somebody else. You know, you talk about jobs coming back. It's just like the other day they would have say they can't find people to do jobs in shipping ports and be out to sea on vessels. And nor are you going to find people to do other jobs. It's like Americans don't want to make iPhones; they want to buy iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to find people don't want to do that work.
Beds, they wanna stay in the beds in the hotel.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I don't want to clean the floor. I want a clean floor.
So
Exactly. So no,
that
right.
intellectual drain,
It's so true.
especially on STEM, especially on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, especially there, especially with the fact that we were talking about this on the last podcast that we're failing. These generations have failed the generations before in learning and teaching. It's just like we were talking about in New Jersey. 51% of the kids couldn't do a simple math problem that we did in 20 seconds over the daggone podcast. They couldn't do, or
Mm-hmm.
they just didn't get. And we're not talking about algebra. We're not talking about calculus. We're talking about they needed to add up 6 items, all single digit, all less than $10 on a
Wow.
check. And then give the answer was add them up, determine the tip at 20%. What is it?
They couldn't do it.
And 51% of 8th graders couldn't do it.
Uh-huh.
But this is intentional because if you think ahead, if they're successful at continuing to create intellectual laziness or intellectual deficit in the people that are served by whoever's in power. Number one, those people, as dumb as they are the smartest people in the room. So when they say, go shoot up a something, then it's, oh,
Right.
they must know more than me. So it's a systematic dumbing down or like ignorance propagation that allows for a autocracy or a dictatorship. Like you need that to happen in order to have that type of world. Because if people are smart, they're gonna fight back.
And I'm
Mhm.
curious about what their vision of this utopia they're creating for themselves looks like, because you're just going to have a complete, total underclass of people who don't know anything, unskilled, just do what you say, and you think you're going to still remain a billionaire. I don't understand how.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense, but it certainly is intentional what they're doing, and they're doing it fast, way
It's
faster than I could
fast.
have imagined we could be
Very
dismantled.
fast.
Well, it's like
Very fast.
Kamala
Yeah.
said, you didn't expect people to capitulate. You
Mhm.
know,
And they're starting.
it's like the
And they're
people
starting.
who up the Venezuelans in the ocean, the Navy SEALs and everything. They're supposed to defend the Constitution and not listen to this guy. Now
Mhm.
they want to court martial Mark Kelly for telling the troops not to do that, to honor their constitutional oath.
The only thing about that was cringeworthy, simply for the fact that he of all people, and all those senators do, they know that there is a process to do that the way it would be heard the right way. Just impeach him again. They've already impeached him twice. The last
Mhm.
time he was in office. When they did that, and we've talked about this before on podcast, that's what frustrates me so much about the Democrats is when they get their opportunity, they fluff it up. And like they just fall over themselves trying to be the same way. I mean, the only person who's done it well is Gavin Newsom. He's
Gavin's
the only
got it.
he's the only one who's come back and done it well and done it in a way where it was tongue in cheek, serious enough, but not like, yo, that was kind of dumb. Like they should have not done it in that manner because now you gave him another soapbox to be on, even though he was one of the ones who committed that even more than anybody on January 6th, right? But then he
Mhm.
turns it back around on them because nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever come out and say, "Hey, don't follow the orders of the sitting president." That they could have did that in so many different ways that would have had much more deleterious impact on him. But they tried to get a soundbite. But then he, on top of it, now what he did was he'll one up you because he'll always one up you because he owns that media, and he goes, "Well, we should go out and kill him." And now you got to have protection even more than you had before, which is wrong too. So you stooped to his level, and you didn't have to. That was my problem.
Uh,
I think it's the
You're like,
media
you're like, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a
killing
problem.
real people, and
Right.
Right.
he needs to be held accountable for that.
I
And
agree.
I think that's why he w is there they
But
had
the military is not. The military is following an order. So now you're trying to put them in this position. They don't need to think. They just need to follow orders. So you know that as a soldier, you know that as an officer
right.
in the
But
military. So you're putting that
unconstitutional
doubt.
orders?
Are they unconstitutional if they're coming from that'll be determined down. Unfortunately, that gets determined later. Fortunately, if you don't think that there've been unconstitutional orders given in wars that we've been in, come on, they always are.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I also, to your point, there's a process for them to then blindly follow unconstitutional orders. I
However,
mean,
is anything the president says now unconstitutional because he's already gotten
the
a
Supreme
pardon
Court
from the
on
Supreme Court that he can do anything he wants
no,
to do? You gonna
no,
follow
you're
those orders,
right.
and
You're
that's
right.
where it's changed, right? Because he does it in the open,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can't you can't do what he
Under the
does. You don't have that same protection, right? You don't have that
again,
same.
all systematically creating a world where he can just be a dictator.
And let me tell you, if I went after him, no matter how moderate I am, I don't really care if I'm your boy who won the mayor's in his job in New
Montgomery.
York, Montgomery. I don't know if I'm gonna change that. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to the Supreme Court and say, "Hey, well, let's put it back to the way it was." I would want that same protection. I would want that same immunity if I was the next president. And that
Going
doesn't mean I'm
back.
gonna do anything with it, but
No,
I
you're
wouldn't want
right.
to give that up.
No, you're right, Jamie. I think that horse has left the barn, train left the station. Every person in power henceforth will want that same power. What they
Absolutely.
do with it could be different, but they are not. That will never be relitigated, revisited. No.
And
No.
you know who's the maddest person in the world if they were still alive? Richard Nixon. Tricky Dick. You know Tricky Dick's lying in his grave going, damn, why did I think of that?
Why didn't I think of that?
Why did I think of that? I would have been moving. I've been in my second term. Why did I think of that? Think about that, Tricky Dick. If he would have known that, he would have. What he did was nothing compared to, you know.
That's
But
exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So what do we think about this third term? What do we think is going to happen?
that ain't happening. That's
Leave it.
just
Do
for
you
show.
think we will have another president in 2020? Where are we? 2020?
Yeah, and we'll have a different person, and it won't be JD, and it won't be JD Vance.
You
It may
think
be
so?
another Republican. It's not going to be JD Vance. He's already
And
shown
so
that he can't be
you
president.
don't think they're going to try to create some national crisis that allows him to cancel the elections or
If he's
makes it
still
so
alive,
people are afraid to come to the polls or
Because
you know?
I think the next election will give one or the other the majority that they won't be able to get that through. And there's not going to be an executive order that's going to get that passed. I think the Supreme Court has its limits. Maybe I'm a little bit positive, but I don't think that they're going to allow the term limits to be raised.
Yeah,
Troy,
but you
I
are
know doesn't believe
optimistic
that.
about our current checks and balances, our systems of checks and balances like the Supreme Court, but those limits are being tested. And again, we're only 1 year in. By the
Right.
time we get to that fourth year, Supreme what? Like who, I don't know. I'm scared about that, but
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
you are right, Jamie. I hope my fear is unwarranted.
yes, because
I,
I
I,
really do believe that he would create, if he's still alive, he's not leaving office. What would give
I
you,
I
think he
agree with
is.
you. I
what would
agree.
give
I
you,
think
he tried,
and I'll give you the number one reason: money. He's made so much more money in office that he's going to want to enjoy that money. He's going to be as
he's,
powerful. He wants to be like Peter Thiel in the background, directing everything without all the smoke.
but you have
Yeah.
to remember the main reason he wanted to become president was so he didn't go to jail.
True, and he accomplished that, especially with last week with the Georgia dropping its case. But that doesn't mean they can't bring it back up because that happened before he was in office. So all he did was delay the cases. They can start back up if they want to. Anything he's done in office, they can't do anything about. But anything he did outside of the office, they can pull him up on charges and they can start. But by that time happens, either they'll think he'll be gone, unfortunately, or hell, if he lives to be 90, maybe they get him.
No, but he's
Now
going to have
this
to
late,
go after the people in Georgia one way or another. I don't doubt that. I mean, he tried to get Letitia James and James Comey. And right now, it's just the federal judges that are kind of keeping the fence.
well, it's obviously he has a list and he's checking
It's
names
twice.
and he's doing the same thing Santa Claus does on his list.
Exactly.
He's checking it
Who's
twice. You're
naughty and
naughty and nice.
Exactly.
If you weren't nice to me, it's coming. But here's what I get the psyche. It's almost like, see, this is the funny thing to me. How when they say, oh, black people, why can't you get over it? Slavery was 400 years ago, and blah blah
Mhm.
blah. No matter, we broke up your families, we tore your families apart during war, all these other things. So we're basically like the most abused kids you could possibly be, but we're not able to have any impact or any effects with it. But then you get a guy who has a silver spoon. Father was a multimillionaire, gets given money, fails, all these other things, and he acts like he was done so wrong and people came after him that he has this list of enemies that he wants to get back at, like somebody did something to him. And he's acting like he was like the most abused kid ever in life.
Yeah.
It comes from people. It comes from women like his mom. I mean, for all accounts, his mom was a great mom and a regular mom. They regularly had their issues and family stuff, but from all accounts. So I just don't get where he gets off with that. To switch up, didn't you say you went to Thailand before, Monique?
Me? Yes.
Before we met, was it Thailand? Well,
Thailand.
you should be
And
lucky
India.
that you should be lucky you didn't spend too much time there, because last week there was a 65-year-old Thai woman in Bangkok
Mhm.
After a 300-mile journey in a casket because she was supposedly dead, they were about to cremate her. They put her in the box. They were about to put her in the oven, and they heard this knocking.
I can't.
And she was alive. She
saw
was
that.
alive.
Oh
Troy, you
no.
read that story?
I saw the film. They showed her in the casket.
No,
They were about to.
no, I didn't see
They were
that.
about to. She was about to be singed, and they heard this knocking, and they were like, "What is this?" They got her out. 65-year-old. She was asleep. She was in a coma for 2 years. She was bedridden. She was bedridden for 2 years. They thought she was dead at 2 a.m. local time the day before. So they put her in this casket. They drive 300 miles to cremate her, and she knocked at the right time, and they opened up, and she was alive, and
Thinking
she's
it's
still
a long
alive.
journey.
That was a long journey in a casket. Luckily, it wasn't
That's crazy.
airtight, right? Luckily, it wasn't
Yeah.
airtight. So,
But she was in a coma for 2 years?
she was bedridden. Excuse me. She was bedridden for 2
I
years.
was gonna say.
Supposedly, it appeared that her health had deteriorated so much that she became unresponsive and appeared to stop breathing early hours.
What kind of nurses? What kind of vital checking? Don't you have any stethoscopes in Thailand? I mean,
Exactly.
That reminds me of the first time I ever saw a dead person in person. I was over at this girl's house I was dating when I was in high school, and her mom wasn't home, but she used to take care of her aunt who was bedridden. I mean, like totally bedridden, couldn't speak. And we were doing what young kids were doing in the other room, and we went in to check on her. And we were like, is she moving? And she wasn't moving. We did the whole mirror and the nose test for breath and all that all that stuff.
Wow.
And unfortunately, she had passed away right in front of us. Yeah, so maybe they just did the mirror test, with the breath coming out the sun.
I can't.
I was like, oh, I'll never touch a dead body. I was like, I don't know. I was probably like 16.
yeah.
So I'm just that made me think of that story when I read that. But that's like, you were in a coffin for 300 miles and they thought you were dead. Yeah, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick in Thailand. That's not going. That's not going to be the
agree
move.
with you. I agree with you.
But it's a wonderful place, from what I understand. I've never been.
I've heard
but
it's
Monique
beautiful.
loved it.
Oh, it's beautiful. But I loved India too.
Monique loved it.
And it was very sad, but I loved it. I loved the whole experience. So the population was crazy, but yeah, Thailand was definitely a place to go.
And of course, the other thing that I thought about this week is there's two things I thought about. There are two ends of the spectrum, but why is your butt out supposed to be the new fashion thing in dresses and in jeans? Why is that? Why is your ass crack now a fashion statement?
Well, I thought you meant the bottom. You mean the top of the butt?
Yeah, it's top of the butt. Top of the butt. Ass crack.
Oh, I've seen a lot of bottom butts around here.
Yes, that's been going on. That's been going on now.
It's the MTV production with Prince and his yellow jumpsuit with the ass out. I don't remember seeing that coming back.
Now I'm a firm believer of femininity and the female shape. Love it. I'm pro female shape. Love women. Love my wife's body. And I'm not going to sit here and say that if you're going to show it, that of course we're going to look. But now it's like y'all like everybody's just wearing sheer, like down to the panties and bra.
The crack is sheer.
There is crack. Like you'll go halfway down like 6 inches, so you don't get to the, you don't get to the shoot, but you get to the crack long enough so you can know this.
I'm looking at it right now.
I have not seen that. The new dress. I mean, it's Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney, Margot Robbie, Zoe Kravitz. I'm looking at them all right now.
But it's the front that's usually the nude.
But they got the back thing going on too.
Maybe a thong.
Oh,
I don't.
That's the thing.
I like when women embrace their sexuality and their attire, their makeup, their hair. Like I'm okay with like the super
I am too.
feminine,
I
but
just want to know why all of a sudden did it come? Where
to
did it come?
see, I really don't need to see nipples or butt crack. Either one. Is that nip? I'm sorry. Is that the right? Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's good. Look, I enjoy them. I enjoy them all. It's just in the right place.
But in the
It's
case,
the
I can see that.
right.
that's her selling point is the big boobies.
Yeah, but we don't have to see the areola. Like we just don't have to see it.
Man, you don't mind when you see our areola, so why can't I see your areola?
No.
I want to see your
I mean, we
in
walk
clothes
down the
out on the
beach,
street either. Like, that's I don't know. Sheer. I don't know. Maybe
but it got to the point where at the Academy Awards they were like, "Yeah, you can't show any skin like
yeah.
that
Put a
anymore."
jacket on.
Because I
Yeah.
remember Halle Berry was talking about that she had to change her choice of clothes this year for the Academy Awards because they were like, "Yeah, nah, that one's not gonna work.
Too
You
naked.
gotta cover it up a bit." I just wondered where it came from because everybody's doing it. I'm like, did we? But then what
Yeah.
I hate is that I'm like that. Don't hate on women because they have luscious bodies and they want to show them.
Oh, no,
Like
no, no.
if they're
No,
comfortable, I'm comfortable.
Fashion
I do agree with
statement
that.
went because women are, in at least in the United States, are being suppressed. Our rights are being taken away, and it's almost like a fashion backlash to say, okay, you want to suppress us, then we're gonna show you our entire bodies out in public. That's
Mm.
the way I'm interpreting it. Um,
I
and
never
you're
thought
gonna
about it like that.
I didn't either. But
Mm.
that's
But
what's Kanye West's girlfriend that's
what
always all her
she's
clothes are
always what's her name?
His
Yeah.
his
scantily
wife?
clad.
he's
Aren't
naked.
they
Oh
married?
yeah,
Are
that's
they
his
Wife?
wife. Yeah, that's his
Oh,
wife.
what's her name?
Sensori, what's her name? What's Kanye's
Don't
wife name?
know. Don't care.
My,
But I found her clothes. So a fashion
Bianca.
statement to.
Bianca
Oh,
Sensori.
Bianca.
Oh, okay. I didn't find that fashionable. It just was naked.
I
Like it.
found it trashy.
it's making a statement, and it's almost like Kanye is using that as
Yes, I
As a
agree.
muse.
statement.
He's using it as a muse.
Yeah,
Well,
but it was
I don't
almost it was tastefulness. It was tasteless though.
It was tasteless. It was
it
not
was
fashion. It was
tasteless.
just naked.
and it's
Yeah, it was
kind
just
of
Yeah,
naked.
I
violent
agree.
too, because the
There's a
one
way to be tasteful and be exposed.
Sexy.
Yes,
Agree.
I agree.
See now that's that
That's that
religious
what?
Christianity
No, it's not.
environment
And
that
our
when the United
age.
States to the big, okay.
And our age as well. All of that is wrapped up in there. Our age, our generation, our
But
U.S.
in Europe, it's not. In Europe, it's mostly not that way. It's like they're
you
more
don't see
freer with their
women
body.
walking on the street
Well,
in
you
Europe.
don't live in Europe.
with
This is
6
true.
inches of crack showing. No, they not.
This
Yeah,
is.
right. That is
It's
not. I
it's
mean,
all about fashion.
I look at it and think twice, but they're not doing it like just
No,
like
I
we're not.
agree. Yeah,
Most
I
likely
agree.
because it's not always comfortable to do. You don't know what you're going to be sitting on or what you're going to, There's things like
Practical.
there's
Thank
there's
you,
things like
Jamie.
that.
Yes.
There's
Let's
the
let's just be
practicality of it.
practical. It's not practical. You can't
The
ride the
prac-
subway with
the
your butt
practical.
touching the seat.
I,
It's
but
gross.
what I
Right.
don't think, what I don't, well, that's a whole brings up another subject. But what I do believe, women should be able to free their nipples whenever they want. I'm not talking about just go out there and walk. They can walk shirtless. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I do
But
see
you should be
that.
able to free your nipples if you want.
I
There's
see
nothing wrong with that. We got
In
nipples.
what way? What is freeing the nipples?
In other words, you shouldn't have to be subconscious about if your nipples are hard and they're showing through your
Oh,
shirt. Who
I
cares?
do
Oh,
agree with
okay.
that. I wish we
Okay.
could eliminate the bra as an undergarment. I wish
You
that's what
can.
Donald Trump should do with his
Well,
crazy laws. Eliminate the bra.
You
Like,
can.
yeah,
That's your
I
choice. Y'all the
I
ones
would
who wear them.
thank you for that.
yeah, I can't. The fight to keep the nipples under control is a serious thing
Look,
for some of us, and I wish I didn't have to battle
I
with
don't
that.
know how y'all wear thongs either, but that's a whole nother discussion.
That doesn't bother me as much. It's the bra. It's very, very binding.
yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
And if you
So
find
it's
the
doing
right,
its job.
it's actually more comfortable than the other alternatives.
The
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
alternatives.
Well, I mean,
And then all of this.
you have briefs and bikinis and thongs and low slung thongs and and then there's commando, which people
Yeah.
seem to be following a lot more these days.
They do. The youngsters believe it's more healthy.
Hmm
I don't agree.
I don't agree with that either.
Well, since we're kind of on this subject, and this has always been fascinating to me, is the gender gap. And I'm not talking about age, gender. I'm not talking about just male, female. I'm talking about number two. The number two, the poo gap. The poo gap is harming women. And there are, in
The
fact,
what?
11 poo-related questions that you may be too afraid to ask, but the experts aren't. And we're not afraid to ask on the Cockrider Show either, because we're going to ask
Hey, I'm
those right
ready. Let me
now.
get
Poo.
myself ready.
Poo. Poo. Number two, associated with poo and women and the gender gap that's harming you. Did you know that 46% of schoolgirls have held in poo to the point of pain?
Yes.
I,
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
I find that fascinating. That can hurt, obviously, right?
Yeah.
It's
Can hurt. Yes.
because people have created this myth that women are genteel and we don't fart and we don't go to the bathroom. We just
We're too
Right.
demure.
we're
Well,
just
and I'm
Don't-
always fascinated. Like, men, we go all the time.
And talk
and
about
women
it.
go, and once in a while, maybe if y'all go twice a week, I think that may be a lot. And I'm like, if I went twice a week, I may have colorectal. I mean,
What
I
are
have
you
like
talking
colorectal
about?
cancer or something.
He
What
thinks
are you talking about?
Regular is 2 or 3 times for a woman a week, right? To do number two?
It not
No?
2
not
or 3 times a day? What are you talking about?
I thought women didn't
Really?
go that much to the
No.
bathroom. Yes. I'm not
that's
talking about going to the. I'm talking about number
No.
2. I'm talking about.
Troy nailed it. We must be figuring out how to hide it because of the whatever stereotypes there are, but those going 2 or 3 times a week are having problems.
Yeah.
They're cranky.
It's not
Absolutely.
true.
Why?
That's not
The
true,
question
though.
is, why
That's not
don't
true.
I?
If you
why
are
don't I
normally,
poop all
if
the-
that is your normal, if that's your normal, you could talk to any doctor. If that's how your body normally reacts to go into the bathroom, it's normal. Now, trust me, I'm telling you.
Are you eating every day?
Doctor,
Yes.
look,
I'm telling you.
Dr. Rupa Pamar, medical director at Midland Health, has said
That's true.
everybody's body's different, ladies. Okay, while some people need to
Okay,
relieve
okay,
themselves
I didn't
daily,
know that.
others may go every other day. Others even only 3 times a week, just like I said,
Right.
I did
and that
not
can
know
be
this.
perfectly normal. The
Normal.
problem is
Yeah.
when it doesn't get normal, and then it backs up, and we know constipation and then all those other things. Another question was asked is, why do babies go through every poo color possible? Does anybody know?
have no idea. Their flora is being
Hold on.
developed. Yes.
It's completely
Why
normal. It's just a natural part of development, supposedly.
Okay.
Why do the colors? Why do they go through every color? Because isn't it like yellow? It looks like mustard, and then it looks like something else, and then it looks like yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
want to be.
it.
That's not. I don't want any parts of that smoke right there. I don't want any parts of that life.
Oh, little babies.
These are some really dumb questions on here too. So, is holding in my poo bad for me? If I'm out and about and don't want to go in public, am I doing damage waiting until I get home? No, I would think not.
If you
It's a
can.
couple hours, right? Yeah.
If you can. Because sometimes you
If you
cannot.
can. Because I'm going to tell
If you
you,
can.
every time I go on vacation, it's always a struggle. Always.
To do what?
To use the bathroom, it's always a struggle. Like, bad. Like, when I say bad, I mean bad. Like, it is sometimes I even dread vacation because of that reason. I don't know if it's the traveling. Yes, it is the worst. But I know tons of women that feel the same way. Yeah.
Now, it's usually just day one. Day
Yeah,
one,
day
and it's
one.
because of the flight.
Yes.
And I already figured out a system at this point how to avoid even that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm good.
A little
And then
dopamine.
I understand that your poo may be different on your menstruation cycle. I did not know that. I'm learning
That's
something
true.
new
Now
here
that is
today.
true.
That is true. Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's true.
glad I don't know that. I'm very glad that I don't know that. And now I know that today.
Everything's
It's
coming
another
out.
intimate thing to talk about with my wife one day.
All
It's very much it's the purge during your cycle.
Oh,
That's so funny.
and somebody asked, I would really love to know why sometimes my poo feels really sharp and painful. It doesn't happen that often, but I'd say every couple of months, I'm not sure if it's diet or something else at play.
it is diet and lack of water, probably, and lack of fiber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say.
It could be the consistency of your stool, because of what you said, it could be small fissures or tiny tears.
Ooh.
Yes, there are those in your, called anal fissures. Doesn't sound good, probably because it isn't good. There are also dietary triggers, as you said, and less common causes are hemorrhoids or gut inflammation. But if you're bleeding, probably need to go to the doctor. That's one of those
Absolutely.
tells. If you got blood in your stool, go to the doctor. That's one of those things, unless you know it's from
But
hemorrhoids.
you would think that somebody would want to go to the doctors if that was what
Please,
happened. You would hope.
please,
Yeah.
You would hope.
Yeah.
please. I didn't know y'all had so many issues with your number twos.
Delicate flowers, Jamie. We have a very delicate ecosystem. We birth
Right.
Jamie, I didn't know we had so many issues myself.
So-
old humans into the world.
You know what's? I think that the other thing that's interesting is how this Epstein thing ebbs and flows. Ebb,
Yeah.
flow. And the more I think about it, it's like there's so many people involved that they don't want this stuff that, like, that's why Giselle, is it Gazelle or Gazelle or Giselle?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine, thank you, Ghislaine. I always say Gazelle. It's Ghislaine. That's why she's chilling with a puppy in a minimum security prison right now.
She knows all the stuff.
With all the toilet paper she wants.
She knows all the stuff.
And if I was her, I'd be the most feared. I'd be so scared. I wouldn't even want to get out because the way things go, you might not last long out. So Epstein killed himself, supposedly.
Allegedly.
His house is gone. They leveled it.
Oh, really? Why?
Somebody bought it and leveled it.
Oh, wow.
I'll just let that sit for a while.
Yeah.
Somebody bought, now the
something's in it.
estate supposedly still has, because the estate has to still pay out all the women that are, but somebody bought it
Mm-hmm.
and
And
leveled
leveled it out. Yeah.
Ever talks about Les Wexner. Ever.
And let's not even talk about the relationship that he had. Who was it? What bank? What bank was it? JP Morgan, was it?
Morgan.
Yeah.
They were just, and see, I didn't know this. See, that's interesting because the banks are in your money whether you got none or where you got a lot, because they were in their accounts knowing and seeing all these big transfers. Because of course they look at, you see $1 million transfers, you would think, well, they're a billionaire, they got millions, what's the big deal? But they were in those transfers, and they saw those transfers going to people who don't have millions or billions, and they had a somewhat of an idea of what could be transpiring. They did nothing about it. Now, can they do anything about it? Well, you would say, well, they would intervene if they thought it was drug trafficking.
Right.
Or they would at least give the evidence up to the government.
We would, yeah.
If they asked, and then the government asked, and they had him, and he got off like nobody else has ever gotten off for something like that. But that's because of people. We know it's like, there's so many people that don't want this information to come out. We can wish and hope for all we want. We will never see the real information.
I agree with you.
I agree.
We even need to see it when there are tons of women who can just tell us exactly what was going on. I don't understand why they don't want to talk about it?
They don't want to believe the women.
They don't want to believe the women because the women wouldn't. It'll be he say, she say, because there's no proof. That's why those pictures. That's why, like, when Wolf, the author's like, I've seen pictures of Donald with scantily or not clothed young women or around them, at Epstein's house. He says he's seen the pictures. He knew Epstein had something on Trump. But what was it? Now, interesting enough, if we were watching last night, we were watching the Trump movie. The Trump movie that came out about him and how he came to be. There's some interesting stuff in there.
Do you guys know that? Do you guys?
No. What is it called?
The Trump movie.
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice,
right, Jamie?
Came out.
I'm
It's
going to
good.
tell you, I didn't even know he was turning this on. I did not know anything about what the show was about. But the moment this guy started talking, I said to Jamie, is this about Donald Trump? They couldn't have found a better actor to play this. Oh, I mean, his mannerisms, the way that I couldn't.
If
He
you
did
watch
an amazing job.
if you watch the Avengers movies, it's the guy who played Winter Soldier with the
Okay.
Yeah, I know he's a
with
pretty
the-
good actor.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did Donald
I wrote
Trump
it down.
with the
very well.
vibranium arm that came from Wakanda.
I wrote it down. I'll try to check it out.
Oh yeah, he played him very and we didn't finish watching it, but he played him very well.
So the
Yes.
thing is all these people is and the more they dig, the more stuff comes like the dude at Harvard who stepped down, the former Treasury Secretary and President of Harvard, Larry Summers,
Mm-hmm.
who used to vacation over there and had deep, he was advising Epstein, had deep relationships. Well, how about the dude that was the ambassador to the U.S. from England? And they had pictures of him and that was messed up. That picture they had of a robe outside. They were sitting there chilling like this,
Yeah.
talking out about a pool. I was like, yeah.
Not a good
Once
picture
that
to be in
picture
a
came
room.
out, they were like, yeah, I got to step down. So it's like these cats don't want this stuff to come. And I know Bill's got to be sitting back there going, man, I thought I got through this stuff. I thought I
Right?
got through.
Right?
I think Bill's
I got
worried
to.
about it at all.
No, I don't think he is either because he's in the know. He's definitely in the know and probably have been in the know. But there's so many people. The thing is what people are missing is it wasn't that you needed to check Epstein's flight records in his plane. They were like, you need to check Trump's records in his plane because they used to share planes
Mm.
and go back and forth on each other's. That's how tight they were. That they used to be like, yo, where's your plane at, man? Oh, I'm over here. Oh, yours is there. Okay, I'll get in yours and I'll go in yours. They need to because they're trying to check the flight manifestos of Epstein, but they need to check the flight manifestos of DJT. See what's going on there. But that will never ever happen. But I don't think Summers is going to be the first one to. Is it Summers? I don't think. Yeah, Summers is not going to be the first one. He'll be the first. I mean, one of the first ones. He's not going to be the last one.
But things, he's not a very important person in that. And I think all the other people that are significantly important going, yes, focus on Larry Summer.
I think it's just another distraction. But I'm saying there are a lot of cats like that who are wealthy under the radar.
Yes.
Who
yes.
And
the way
they were involved with that.
The way that they described Epstein is like he was a connector. So you go to New York and you were looking for financing, he would connect you with somebody. You were going to San Francisco and you needed, a date for something, he would connect you. And that's what Key and Ghislaine were doing. They were connecting these wealthy and powerful people, networking to their benefit. And then they would collect materials on them to blackmail people to keep them in line so that they could do their it's a fascinating story, but I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom.
No, for
But
sure. I don't think
they're going to let us.
Fascinating things they said was that Larry Summer was asking Epstein about how to bed this Harvard professor. Meanwhile, his wife was asking how she could get in touch with Woody Allen. So this is a very insular, complicated, wealth-driven, power-driven thing that we will never get to the bottom.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
But we won't because
likely.
They'll keep on piecemealing out these people like this that we've never heard of. We go, oh, they caught somebody, but it's not the people who are really in power.
Well, that
the significant people, but they'll keep on giving us this.
So you're watching The Apprentice. So I highly encourage you to go to, I don't even know if it's still on Hulu, but there was this documentary about Victoria's Secret, and they get into a little bit of the stuff behind Les Wexner and Epstein and the modeling agencies and all of this stuff, the pageants, the modeling agencies, the this, the that, and it's scary. It's scary. And just to flip back to Aoki Lee Simmons, she was talking about how the modeling world gave her a mental health issue because people are so ruthless and, just nasty and asking you to do things out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. Why is that happening? For fashion.
Why is it still happening?
Yeah.
Because, the casting couch, still should not. Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you told me there was human trafficking in modeling, I'd be like, yep.
Yeah, I agree. In the entertainment, in any form of the entertainment industry, I think. Yeah. I do think it boils down to the power dynamic and male female power dynamic, and then there's the age youth and
Yes.
youth dynamic, youth and older dynamic too.
And thinking of her mother was signed on to Chanel as a model at 13. 13. Think about that. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And we
And
allow
then
that.
what she was exposed to. Yeah.
Yes. Brooke Shields, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I mean,
that
So
it's that power that gets the money that gets, or vice versa, that at the end of the day goes after the richest prize there is on earth. And that is what is between a woman's legs, because that gives life. I say that all the time. That is the thing. And we have trained y'all, unfortunately, per se, to think the way that you think about it, that is the only asset that you have to be able to break through, when in fact you hold the advantage, because it's like crack to us, and we'll go through and do anything to be able to get the resources to be able to control it, because we know it's like crack. We know it's our Oxycontin, and in your hands, if we don't control it, we will be nothing.
Most fascinating part of, to me, the Larry Summers story, that he was asking another man's opinion on how to bed someone. He's married. You would figure out how to woo a woman or whatever, but if this wasn't working with this other person, so we needed to figure out how to get her in bed.
Or what I think people were missing, it wasn't working like it usually worked.
Right.
This wasn't.
His money and
I don't
status
think this
wasn't
is his
enough.
first time. I don't think this was his first time, and he usually could probably just get by positional authority or power. But this woman was like, yeah, I can't go there. And it's like, well, how do I do it? You know how, Jeffrey. How do I do it? Because I can't crack this
alternative
case.
means, a la Bill Cosby, drug them or whatever,
Yeah, that is true. We often don't talk about Bill like that, and we probably should more, because he is no different than Epstein.
Thank you for saying it, because that
He
is
is no different.
that is a hotly contested topic in my household, and
He is no
but
different.
he's not. I'm sorry. He's guilty, and
Mhm.
he's guilty. Period. He drugged
Yes.
people to have sex with him, and he
Yeah.
didn't have to. Some of the stuff I
Didn't
just
have to.
truly don't understand. There's so many people willing to do it sober and for free. Why are we paying
Yes.
for it? We're drugging people. I don't.
Well,
That's
look at
the
Epstein.
ultimate
You didn't
power
have to
play.
bed underage women, because you could have had a bevy of adult women. Why did you
Well, that
have
was
to
his
go over
preference.
underage?
It's the
Or
power
was it his
dynamic.
sickness? He was sick. That was his sickness. Just like Bill. You could have had, you were Eddie Murphy before Eddie Murphy. You were Richard
Yeah,
Pryor
but it was
Richard
probably
Pryor.
what
He was
turned him on
R.
to
Kelly
make
before R.
them.
Kelly.
Yeah, but that was probably his
Right.
turn on, though. You think about it, that was probably his way. He was turned on by drugging them and making them not really be aware of what was going on. And
Powerless.
yeah,
Powerless.
and
Yeah.
powerless, exactly. And just like with Epstein, his turn on was to have younger girls.
And
So
he
it was
could
what their
manipulate.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or there look, and there's
Powerless.
definitely was some self-esteem stuff there, because there's no way, if you are a
Absolutely.
confident man and you know that you can pull women, you got some game, you don't resort to those things. There's no reason to resort to those
I
things,
don't think
because
it's our confidence at all. I think it's power.
yeah,
I agree with
no, I
Troy.
mean that's
I don't
part
think
of
it's
it.
confidence. Mm-mm.
But
I
you
The
had
agree with
women
power.
might have lacked confidence. The
There you
self-confidence of a young woman would allow that to happen, that she's
Absolutely.
somehow
But you,
validated by the attention of this old, decrepit, wrinkly, rich man.
and he
Yeah.
probably was doing it. The thing about it, he probably was doing it before that. But there's a sickness there, because many a white guy in power in Hollywood and all that stuff are doing it without the drugs.
Right.
Matt, what was that? Matt Lawyer, who's in the news back today, because he
Lauer,
wants to,
yes.
Matt
Lauer,
Lauer,
yes,
he
yeah.
wants to come back. He says, I'm not saying he says this, but I guess he's thinking, I've been away long enough, people won't forget about that. Look at Trump. That's what people will say now. It's like, I'm not that bad.
You're not.
It's time for him to come back, because they what's the sportscaster name who had the controversy and was caught in a hotel wearing stockings? His son is also a Jamie, the sportscaster with the dark hair, very famous voice. He got in some sexual trouble and got kicked off, and then his son was an on-air
Is it
I don't.
basketball?
Yeah, you're telling me something.
basketball. Yes,
I
basketball.
think I know who you're talking about.
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert.
Marv
came back.
that was Marv Albert's thing. I didn't
He
know
came
that about
back after
Marv.
having a sex scandal,
I did
and
not know
in the
that
interim,
about
his
Marv.
son got a career.
I did
Wow.
not know that about Marv. That's why Marv
Yeah.
would have went.
Wasn't he
Oh
wearing
wow.
stockings or something, Troy, and got caught in a hotel?
No,
And
it was pretty good.
Wow.
for the time, it was scandalous. Now,
His turn on was stockings.
My man.
I think Matt Lauer's problem is that people really don't like Matt. I think if Matt were, if people were, I think he's a real creep. That's the sense I'm getting, is that people just, if they really wanted him back, he'd be back.
And too many details came out, like the button that could lock the door at your desk so you didn't have to get up and lock the, stuff like that. I mean, it's just like you had a whole plan. But again, you didn't have to drug them. Yeah. That to me is like, that's the next.
It's almost adjacent though, because it's controlling your movement.
See, my thing is there's, like they said, there's levels to it. There's, okay, I'm the producer, I'm the studio head, and if you want this role, let's go to the casting couch. Nah, I'm good. I can walk out. I'm not drinking anything. You're not drugging me. Then there's the, I can lock the door, remove your movement. So we're going to sit here and talk about it until I convince you that this is the best move for you. Then there's the, I'm just going to go past all that. I'll just put something in your drink and invite you back to the house. That to me is like, all of those are sick.
Or I'm just going to put you in the office and then you can leave when I'm done.
Right. And to me, it all stems still from, it's power, but that power stems from some insecurity somewhere, because just go out there and talk to her on normal, without the offer of a job, without any other enticements. Just like, hey, I'm just trying to go out with you. No, I'm not trying to hire you and all that other stuff. So that to me is, I just don't get that. I just don't get that at all. So anyway, all right, look, we are towards the end, and it's been a great discussion, as it usually is. And what we usually do here, Tiffany, is we give parting thoughts. But I'm going to give the first parting thoughts to our first-time second guest. Troy Jones, what are your parting thoughts for this week?
Realize.
Does that need any further commentary?
No, I think it sums it up perfectly.
Okay, because you have to realize.
Yes.
Realize. I get it. Tiffany, that's going to be hard to follow up, but I'm going to ask you.
I don't know. I'm not even sure. I'm still, trying to realize. So I'm not sure I have nothing to add.
I have something.
Go, Monique.
Remember, strength comes from people who show up. Remember to not turn away and stand up for what you believe, and keep giving your opinions about what needs to take place for change. Or speak about change, I should say, because we need change in this country. So stand up. I don't know if that made any sense, but stand up.
That made perfect. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay.
They were your thoughts.
Yeah, mine.
Okay, I got a little bit. I guess I still can. Both of those are tough acts to follow. Let's see. I would say for this week, and after this conversation, I'm just going to have to focus on staying grateful, because there's so much for me to be afraid of and worried about, and, so much trauma. So I'm just going to keep being grateful for every little thing. The sun came up, I woke up, I'm talking to y'all, all of those things, so I can stay strong. And then maybe then I have some power, like what Monique was talking about. So, and then maybe I'll realize as well.
That's it.
All three, very good. And I will try to follow up on those. I will leave with one big quote, maybe two different ones, that you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Absolutely.
Because then you'll be able to do what you have to do, because then you'll be able to do what you want to do.
Okay. Amen.
I'll leave everybody on that. This is Cock Rise of the Show, Season 1, Episode 18. I'm Jamie Jones.
I'm Monique Jones.
Ladies.
Troy.
Tiffany.
Holla. Listen to me now.